So this year I decided to play one of the most long-awaited indie follow-ups from a game developer, and normally I don't make first impression videos, I save those for the yearly wrap-ups, but this game is a part of a genre that I am known to have trouble understanding. And it was just such a flawed masterpiece that I just had to talk about it. I am of course talking about Psycho Patrol R, the follow-up to the cult classic that is 2021's Cruelty Squad. Now, I don't like politics, I see how it makes other people act, and I decided I'd rather be happy with my life, but both this game and Cruelty Squad are what I'd describe as political masterpieces, because they're so thorough in conveying what is wrong with the world in modern day, while still keeping it tongue-in-cheek, treating it like the joke it is. Now, before I continue talking about this game, please know that despite the $40 price tag, this game is still very much early access. There's a lot of content missing from the game because the developer has straight up not finished it, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, please. So, where Cruelty Squad is a Hitman-esque sim set in a dystopian future where everything has lost value through surplus, Psycho Patrol R is an open zone sim set in a dystopian Europe that's bogged down by so much bureaucracy and red tape, all while being eerily similar to our real world, especially in lieu of recent events. This game, like Cruelty Squad, serves as the perfect example of why the governments of the world fucking suck. In this game, you play as a member of the Psycho Patrol, a police force focused on dealing with basically overglorified thought crimes. I'm gonna be real, the lore of this game is hard to follow. Anyway, as any incompetent cop in a corrupt force should do, you are off to save the day by solving as many cases as you can. This includes finding a man's lost dog, who turns out to be a human who was genetically altered to turn into a dog, solving a class war between the rich and the homeless by completely executing one side of your choosing, turning a man into a horse for his daughter's birthday, and of course finding out the truth about those pesky chemicals in shampoo that caused a mass case of hysteria among the citizens of Pan-Europa. I don't know, it's like a metaphor for capitalism or some shit. Anyway, needless to say, this game is a lot, and it only gets more complicated that every single one of your co-workers hate you. Upon exiting your office and talking to your fellow officers, they immediately tell you that they fucking hate your guts, and of course, the only actual way to have a conversation with them is to bribe them with copious amounts of money. And speaking of, NPCs in this game do not abide by the standard yes, no, good, bad, and tell me more options. You can ask them what they think about shit like fascism or selective breeding, as well as their thoughts on the police force, and basically everyone is a Joe Rogan guest with how they answer. It's weird, it's funny, and it's oddly deep at times, and throughout it all, it is somehow so authentically human. Just like exercising your right as an officer of the law to gun down anybody you don't like. Seriously, you can kill literally any NPC you want in this game, and it is fucking wild.
Do you want me to wipe your ass before you two come back? Man, fuck you. I probably shouldn't have done that. I need my password.
You can also casually message people you meet and tell them wonderful things, like telling your boss you love him, your department's accountant that he's fucking ugly, and encourage the IT guy to kill himself. You can also try contacting people on the street about matters, but good luck because you will get gunned down in a matter of mere seconds. Oh yeah, did I mention that this game is like really hard? See, Cruelty Squad is pretty difficult at the beginning of the game because you don't understand shit, but once you learn the controls and mechanics and start buying upgrades, it gets a lot easier. Yeah, this game says fuck that, pilot your mech or stay away. You have such little health in this game that if someone spits on you, you will die. Instead, you have to pilot your V-Stalker and have a power trip with how powerful it is until realizing that bullets cost money. This game also wants you to be broke. Everything costs a lot, you can't game the stock market like you can in Cruelty Squad, and worst of all, this game has the Dark Souls death mechanic. Please stop doing this, I really hate this mechanic. But this game's combat is pretty cool, and it is just Cruelty Squad's combat, but instead of implants, you can pilot a giant mech, so if you like the gunplay of Cruelty Squad, you'll love the gunplay of this game too. Doubly so when realizing there's this dual wield option that can make you feel like an anime badass.
I can get.
Now, as much as I love this game so far, there are problems, and big ones, too. But you see, it's weird complaining about this game because it's not officially out yet. I want to say the game has a lot of quests, but it doesn't give enough to make the game feel whole. But like, this game is in early access. So instead of thinking of complaints, think of these as things that I just want ironed out in the final product. The first and biggest thing I wish to discuss is how the game teaches you its mechanics. See, in Cruelty Squad, there is the entire level of the HQ to teach you the fundamentals of the game, and everything else is pretty intuitive to figure out. But Psycho Patrol R has so much more going on. The amount of actions you perform in Cruelty Squad can be mapped out to a controller, but in this game, you use your keyboard like you're Mozart at times. And the only way you can learn what buttons do or how the mechanics work is this little tab tucked away in the main menu called Help, and it gives you a whole college thesis on how the game works. It does not take a genius to know that this info needs to be better conveyed to you somehow. And my solution for this transitions smoothly into another complaint of mine. Make Peon do more. You can summon this little orb guy called Peon and can talk to him, and he's useful for telling you your computer password, and that's it. For the first few levels of Cruelty Squad, your job handler will occasionally chime in with helpful advice, seeing as you're still learning the game, and Peon should basically be doing the same thing, especially considering he's nowhere near as malicious as the handler from Cruelty Squad. Imagine being told you could summon Peon, because I only learned this by browsing the control options, and being told he can offer you advice for anything. Peon is the perfect opportunity for a diegetic tutorial. Let's say when you first approach your V-Stalker, the HUD will give you a little notification telling you he has something new to say, and it's the basics of using a V-Stalker. Boom, easy. While the game is difficult with how easy it is to die, it is made exponentially more difficult by how frustrating it is just learning how to play the game, because the way you're told is hidden at the bottom of the fucking main menu. That's so dumb. Another thing I wish was ironed out in the game is the map. This game has open zones and it can be easy to lose your way sometimes, and I'm not saying we need a mini-map, but something like a map screen would be appreciated. And hell, having to pay a couple €100 for it seems like a fine compromise for not having to memorize which zones lead where. Also, something that made Cruelty Squad stand out among the other immersive sims, other than its art styles, were the unique implants in the game, and I'm really sad to see that this game abandoned that for a more grounded approach. I know you're not meant to be the killing machine you are in Cruelty Squad, but at the same time, allow upgrades to you or your V-Stalker that changes shit dramatically like the Grapendix does. They don't need to be as wild, but I want something that is just as fun. Because of this absence, the game seems less unique for it. Also, because this game wants to be more traditional, it just baffles me that there's no quick save or quick load feature like in Fallout, for example. Like, do one or the other, please. I know there will be some thinkers out there saying it discourages save scumming, but the game has manual saves anyway, so at that point, not including quick saves is just plain stupid. You're only making save scumming harder, but it's still something that you can do, so at that point, just make it easier for people and the game will be better for it. Also, officially put the soundtrack on YouTube, please. And lastly, I want to say that I wish there were more quests in the game. I know that it's being worked on, like, right now, but, like...
I want it now!
Okay, but for real, I say this because the game is priced at $40, which for an indie game is pretty expensive, and for $40, I just do not think there is enough content in the game to warrant it. So I'd say only pick this up right now if you absolutely must play it, or simply wait until it's fully out and justifies its own price tag. Still though, I'm very excited to see where the game goes from here. I see that gambling's going to be added soon, can't wait for that. And of the content currently in the game, I really like it. I just wish there was some more.
Now!